Welcome aboard Rocket Ship, the platform with the most relevant content for competitive examinations. This is Rocket Ship IAS Lab, and continuing with our series on answer writing for general studies papers of civil service main examination, we take up a question that you might come across in GS paper 1. Here goes the question. Nari Shakti say Jal Shakti. Explain with suitable examples how women have a pivotal role to play in water conservation. To confess, I found this kind of questions. Actually, I found this question really tough because this is the typical contemplative type of questions that UPSC throws at you. What we mean here explicitly that these questions require you to do a great deal of thinking. That is, you are supposed to wear your thinking cap to answer these kind of questions. That is why you should be like prepared beforehand, that is prepared before the actual examination. That is why a great deal of answer writing practice is necessary. Anyway, as you can see through reading this question, that the question starts with a particular slogan. So it would be really elegant, your answer would sound elegant if you could actually cite the source of this slogan. Moreover, the question requires you to explain in what ways, with suitable examples, you have to explain with suitable examples in what ways women participation in water conservation efforts would be quite transformative, as you can make out this like the central argument of the question. Now, we are introducing our answer with making a very important observation, which observation should support actually this contention that access to clean drinking water is quite vital for life, for the general life. That is, access to clean potable water is of such fundamental import that in the landmark Narmada Bachao Andolan case, the Honorable Supreme Court expanded on the ambit of right to life under Article 21 to include right to clean water. So this is well established that right to clean water is of as much importance as other rights under Article rights under Article 21, that is right to life. Deferring to, that is respecting the realities of social life of India, where women have the prime responsibility. Please try to highlight this point that women have the prime responsibility of fetching water in Indian society even till now. The Jal Shakti Abhiyan has adopted the theme, that is Nari Shakti se Jal Shakti. To translate it, it means women power to harness water power. This focus on women for equitable management of water and conservation of water resources is much welcome. Women indeed have a yeoman's role, that is a central role to play in water conservation. So in what ways women have a pivotal role to play in water conservation? Taking these points one by one. First, you can understand that women are repositories of folk knowledge. That is, they are, you could say, a storehouse of folk knowledge, including best practices about water conservation, water resources, etc. As we have just discussed, we have started this with the argument that Indian society, it is still the woman's primary responsibility. That is, it is primarily the woman who is responsible for fetching water. So you can understand very well that women would have gathered quite some knowledge about, for an example, the local water sources, or for that matter, how to use them judiciously. That is best practices, which can be included under best practices. They have a role to play in cooperative management of the commons, that is water resources. You can understand very well that water resources are a common asset of the society. That is, this is something that is shared across the society, where women have a role to play in its cooperative management. Making sustainable life choices, an example we can give of raising less water intensive crops for you could say for consumption of the family. Now, as the question itself starts with the argument that women are the primary stakeholder due to their central role in fetching water, etc. They are the primary stakeholder. The, so the conservation effort should be focused on them actually. Now, taking up these points in detail, traditionally, the task of raging for water for the family has fallen on the woman. It is still continuing till this day. However, through this, women have gathered much knowledge about, for an example, local water sources. Their wisdom reflected in conservation efforts can be of great help in structuring water conservation programs. Actually, one example that has been cited, which I came across somewhere, that women have actually added to water conservation efforts through their, you could say, uh, acquired knowledge. For an example, it has been observed at some places that women are raising kitchen gardens around, you could say, rainwater harvesting, you could say, structures, rainwater harvesting, you could say, tanks, etc. And this way they are actually adding to water conservation effort. We would repeat it. It has been like observed somewhere that women are actually raising kitchen garden, etc., around the rainwater harvesting tank, etc. And this is indirectly aiding to this is indirectly aiding to water conservation efforts. Women have participated enthusiastically in cooperative management of the common water resources of the community. The Jal Shakti estimates that, one example we are giving here, that the Jal Shakti ministry estimates that across 300 villages in Udham Singh Nagar district of Uttarakhand, women groups have brought visible progress in water conservation efforts. So again, there are already examples that where women participation in water conservation efforts are leading to verifiable or visible change on the ground. Women generally vouch for sustainable life choices. Again, this point is not, we are not going to debate this point, but generally women are considered to be, you could say, more sustainability oriented. So the point is, for an example we can give here is that shifting to less water intensive crops like the millets from wheat rice monocropping not only saves water but also translates to a diversified food basket, that is a more balanced diet too. Again, the point is, generally the wheat rice monocropping system is considered quite water intensive, and in fact nowadays increasingly unsustainable too. So if you we can actually visualize this situation where women actually insist on having a diversified food basket for the family, for example including millets, etc., millets, or for that matter other coarse grains which require much less irrigation. It would indirectly aid to it would indirectly support water conservation efforts. And you can understand very very well that women have a greater say in these life choices. For example, which food would be cooked in the household. Finally, it is not merely a moral imperative that women as main stakeholders should be at center of water conservation programs. It's not just a, you could say, moral argument. In fact, if the programs are to prove effective and of use at all, they have to take into account the needs of the women. As you can understand very very well, women, due to their role in fetching water, or for that matter because they are, you could say, become primary stakeholder in water conservation efforts, etc. Again, all these programs which are you could say targeted at water conservation should appeal to the women, because they should resolve some of the problems faced by the women if they are to indeed succeed. Now we are in like ending our question, we are actually summing up our answer with citing another example, that India has examples where women have enthusiastically contributed to success of water conservation efforts. One more example is a case in point being the Jal Saheli Abhiyan, Jal Saheli Abhiyan in the drought-stricken Bundelkhand region across Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, where they have brought quite some, you could say, verifiable success of the water conservation effort. Women empowered would indeed harness the goods of water conservation. That is, the benefits of water conservation would be better, you could say, harvested or harnessed by including women, by